Today we're gonna talk about the Smash Bros. Scene there in Japan,
Hmm.
specifically in Tokyo.
Hmm.
That's where you're right now, right?
Yeah, I'm a little south of Tokyo.
Um.
That's where my group is.
Okay, so I want to know how does an English friendly community begin there? How did you gather? How did you meet?
Yeah,
Why?
that it was weird. It was a really weird beginning. Whenever I first got here, um, it was like no one. I would remember whenever I first came here and I tried to like find people. I was alone for like 2 months, so I would just practice by myself. But uh, about like after 2 months, I ended up getting in contact with like two people that lived near me, and from them it just kind of bloomed or whatever. I found out about like tournaments, and I got to be invited to like a Japanese Smash local, and it just kind of blew up from there. It was like a really weird chain of events. So after I found these two people. I ended up doing more research and ended up like getting in contact with a, TO here named Watch. His tag, or not his tag, his Twitter is at watch_SSBM. He's huge for the community, and he like speaks the best English, I think, um, from who I've met, and he's very key to like Americans coming to Japan or anyone who speaks English, coming to Japan because he's the best at communicating. So I got in contact with him, and he showed me the tournaments. He showed me some players that I could play with, and it was just great. And from then on, I think it was like just a couple months ago, or like 3 months ago, we got in contact with one guy. His name's Zach. It's pretty good, whatever, but he has a bunch of people in Tokyo, so we kind of merged in there and we all connected. Um, so now we have like ever since I made that post on Reddit, it went from like 21 people to like 30. So that's really nice. Um,
That's really cool. Actually, that's a nice amount of people.
yeah, I mean, we're not all able to get together like super frequently, but
Yeah,
whenever we do, it's always great. Um, and for a while, I was hosting locals here in my house,
yeah.
or in a room like that I could rent here in my building, and a bunch of people from all over would come, and it was crazy like how far they'd be willing to travel. I remember one guy, Pal. I think he plays Marth. He's a really good Japanese player, but he came like 2 hours from where he lives just to play, and like I guess because uh, just the I don't know. I guess the amount of locals that are around that are offered are just so far and few between. Like I guess people are just willing to uh, travel super far away just to play. Um, so it's pretty crazy.
That's crazy indeed, but it's pretty cool actually. I find that players are, well, from what you say, are pretty devoted to the game, to the scene, and to help others too. Maybe.
Yeah, definitely. They're always super helpful. Um, One issue here is like it's like unless you speak like fluent Japanese, it can be tough
Yeah,
to find like a good like I know in the States, whenever you play, like someone will give you tips while you're playing friendly. Like, oh, you can do this or this to get out of whatever situation. But in Japan, like they'll always try their best. They'll always try to be like try to tell me in English or whatever. They'll try to explain uh, whatever whatever it is they're trying to teach me. Uh, but unless you know fluent Japanese, it's gonna be tough to kind of understand. But that's more personal issue than problems. It's just like you know,
yeah. I suppose that the language barrier is really tough there. It's something really difficult to overcome.
mm,
Because I don't know, I people here in the West is used to speak English for everything,
mhm.
even myself, I don't speak English. I think you noticed that it's not my first language.
Yeah.
But we're used to learn English in the school, and for you Americans and other native speakers, you go everywhere and people speak English to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
But in Japan, it's a different story. It's completely different.
Yeah.
There's actually few people interested in learning it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's rough. I don't know. Whenever I first came here, I figured that like not many people would speak English, but a surprising amount like know some. Like they know enough to like, ask basic questions, say basic things.
Yeah, basic communication.
Yeah, right. And yeah, I don't know. It's different. I thought like no one would speak it, but some people here do. It's really nice. But with like our local, that's like never been a real issue. I remember like some people can like write English, so we like text, and like someone, I don't speak any English. I don't know, like that is that a problem? I'm like, no, by all means come by. Like if you don't speak any English at all, that's quite all right. Just come by, enjoy yourself, have fun, play a couple games. No pressure at all. Just enjoy yourself. So.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So, how long have you been playing Smash?
It's actually been a year now. It's been a year. I'd say it's been like a year or a year and a half, around there. I haven't been playing too long, but all my time like playing Smash seriously was here in Japan. So, yeah, it's been great.
And why did you start? I mean, I met Smash back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, that wasn't the 90s. I'm lying. But I don't know. 2000 something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We started playing in school and that when the consoles arrived here.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been there just for a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get to Smash?
So back when I lived in the States, when I lived in USA, my brother was pretty into it, and I remember whenever he'd come by, he'd be like, "Oh, hey, here, play this with me," because where we lived, it was kind of like there wasn't really anyone around, so I was like, "Oh, okay." And at first I was like, "Man, this game's like this is just so dumb. This is so boring or whatever," because I didn't understand what was like going on, because he was doing crazy stuff that I couldn't do at the time. And it's like this is boring. But the more and more I played it, and the more and more he explained like how to, do these certain things, I got more and more interested. By the time I was finally like, okay, I want to play, I moved to Japan. So it was like, what do I do now? So I just ended up practicing for months before I found more people to play with.
That's actually really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So. Another question now, switching again to the community. That's how I met you. I got to you. How hard was to start to create an English community? How did you decide that you needed an English-friendly community for foreigners? Because I'm assuming there's people that is not actually native speakers, maybe.
Oh, like native English speakers, you mean?
I mean, how did you decide? Let's put it not like an English-friendly community, but more like a Western-friendly community, because that's what it actually is.
Yeah.
So, how hard was it to create it? Why did you decide to start making this project?
I decided to start making the community, or like try to find another one, I guess, because I don't know, I felt like a lot of Americans were really just like, or not Americans, but people who were not native Japanese people.
Yeah.
I felt like they were probably a little scared to get into the community because either like the language barrier or just like anything else that would kind of like scare them away. So I was like, all right, I'm probably not the only one feeling like this. So I'll do my research. I'll post everywhere, and I'll ask, around, who plays here, and sure enough, more and more people came. There's a lot of people that are like,
I live here. I haven't played for like 3 years. Is it okay if I come by? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. You know, sure enough, like we got people that got back into it. We got people who wanted to try it and now that are getting into it. And so I think it definitely helped integrate like that whole group into the actual Japanese Smash community, because now they're all going to tournaments and whatnot whenever they can. So it's just, I think it was just kind of like breaking that first barrier of finding people that you could talk to about all this, you know.
Yeah, and how different is the scene there in Japan? Because we know, well, we have a pretty nice competitive scene here in, well, not only in the United States but also in other parts of America, Europe, and West in general. But we have this stereotype. I'm talking from the ignorance. You will excuse me because I have never been to Japan.
Sure.
But we have these stereotypes here that Japanese tend to be a tough scene. They're devoted to the games. They're really into the games. They basically live for the games. So how different is that scene, and how hard was to enter into that scene? Say, hey, well, we're here and we're doing this too.
Yeah, well, you're exactly right about like the whole stereotype. People who play here are actually like, what I found out is crazy good. Like I remember when I went to my first tournament at Battle Gateway, I was blown away. I went to pools. You know, I'm not necessarily a bad player. I'm all right. Like I think I do okay in like a small local in the States, but here, whenever I was in pools, like during the tournament, I got destroyed. Like nothing could have prepared me for how good they would be. It was amazing. They're all really, really devoted. And they're all really nice too. Like they all want to, help you. And I found out the only time they trash talk is whenever they're like friends with each other. So they're all really respectful. But what was the other part of the question about? The difference. Okay.
Yeah, how different it is.
Yeah. I'd say, besides like the skill gap, I'd say the U.S. has a lot more available get-togethers or locals around that people can just be like, hey, I want to play, and they just come in, play, and then whatever. There's going to be plenty of people to play with there. But here, I'd say it's closer to the European scene. We have a person in my local who's from France, and he said that the amount of people that come play is it's a lot like locals in from where he lives. He just said there's like not many people, so it's just kind of tough to get everyone together because they still have like full-time jobs. And actually that's completely true to most Japanese players. Like even the top players have full-time jobs. I think the only people who don't is Amsa and maybe Rudolph. Of the other top players, I believe still work, every day. And I know Watch does for sure. The person who's like one of the like, I'll always bring him up because he's just like so great for the community. He does so much. But yeah, I know he works like a full-time job. So it's tough for some people to get out and play,
And that's pretty interesting actually, because here many people nowadays, from some years ago, people here wants to live from the video games, live from playing, from doing tournaments and stuff. But people they're pro players, they're real pro players, sorry, and they have a complete life outside of the video game scene. They have their jobs, their life, everything, and they still manage to become great players.
Yeah,
so
it's tough. It's definitely tough. But it's doable. It's doable. You just gotta have the passion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool actually. So, starting this, how hard was it to start? How, what I was asking before, when you made your first group, I don't know, 2, 3, 5 people, and saying, well, we're here, we're gonna start joining tournaments and stuff. How did the local community saw you?
Oh, they're actually very welcoming. You know, they're all really, really friendly. Like at Battle Gateway, you know, before the tournament starts and like during it, they just have setups for friendlies, and you can just, you know, you just like walk up to a setup and just kind of hold up your controller, like, oh, okay, yeah, go ahead and plug in, and just play. But they're all really, really accepting. I didn't see anybody that was, you know, against us being here. Actually, one thing that I will say is like the only issue I've run into at tournaments is not the Japanese people; it's the Americans or the foreigners that come to play. I remember I was at one of the Battle Gateway tournaments, and there was like this American guy and his girlfriend, and they were just hogging a setup, and I was like, okay, I'll go over and play. And so I asked to plug in, and he was just like really hostile. I was like, can I plug in? He's like, I guess. You know, he's really passive about it. You know, he didn't want me to be there. And I was playing, and he would like pop off on friendlies, and I was like, what is going on? Like, what is happening? And he was just like, he was just such a jerk, you know. But
yeah, there's people like that everywhere.
Yeah, but it's weird. It's like, I don't know, like I've never seen anything like that in the Japanese scene, like from the Japanese players. It's just I've only seen that from foreigners that come to Japan.
Foreigners. Yeah.
Like not too long ago, there's some foreigners that came by, and they played at like just a Japanese local, and you know they were talking themselves out there like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm really good, and it's like, okay, all right, and then they get there and they're just, you know, they're getting like pretty much destroyed. But and like just like common courtesy and stuff, like they apparently just, I guess they just don't realize, because they like went into this guy's house the first time meeting him, and they're like, where are your snacks? And the Japanese guy was just like, what? Like, what do you I just met you. But you know, it's just like things like that. I think if there's one thing that people should learn before coming to Japan, is like just be like kind of self-conscious about what you're doing, and like common courtesy, you know, whatnot. But
yeah, you gotta take your time to learn all the place you're about to visit or live in, if you're planning to go to live there. Definitely the cultural differences between Japan and the rest of the world there's a big gap. They're pretty different.
Yeah.
Especially the manners.
Yes.
Especially manners. I think they're pretty respectful, and they don't tend to, how to say it, to get that confident with other people right after meeting them.
Mm-hmm.
So they take their time to meet the person and that. So yeah, that's something important for anyone that's planning to go to Japan.
Yeah.
Pretty important. And well, you have told me you have joined tournaments. People has been nice to you, except for this one jerk.
Yeah.
But as a community, since you started, have you won any tournaments? Have you get any recognition from the local communities? Anything?
Well,
at least that they say like, oh yeah, this guy is we know them. That crew, the the foreign crew.
I haven't won any tournaments. I'm not nearly on their level. Like their like quote unquote worst players are still really good, but I've definitely gotten recognition, which is nice. I don't need it. Like I don't know. It's not something that I'm like fishing for. Like someone point me out. But a lot of times when you know people are looking for locals around like Tokyo and whatnot, like they'd message me, be like, hey, you know, I'd love to play. And I think like every single time that I would like post, be like, okay, I'm holding a local this day at this time, you know, a bunch of Japanese players would like retweet it, like Amso would retweet it, Watch would retweet it, and like just a bunch of like players just would, you know, get the word out there, because you know I think they want other people to play too, you know. So I've gotten enough recognition. Yeah.
Do you feel your gaming level has has improved since you started to play there?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, when I first got here, I was, first, of course, I started here. I was just playing with like two
Yeah.
Americans, and I was still pretty bad. But I think once I started going to tournaments and playing with like Japanese players, I definitely got a lot better because the skill gap is like so large.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot of room to learn, I guess. Um, so like we have a player, his name's Andy, super fun guy. Speaks like no English, like just very little, but
Yeah.
he's just such a wonder to play with. He plays Captain Falcon, and he four stocks me. He's so good. He's just crazy good. And he's not even like a on the competitive scene here, like in Japan. He's like not even like really up there, and it's just like crazy. But this playing with him, playing with other really good players definitely helped me improve a lot. So I think when I go back to the States, it's going to be a pretty good lesson. There's going to be some good lessons that I learned.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you will. You're learning. You're still learning. I'm assuming. One is always learning, and you will be able to put that in practice in America, and you will see the difference. As a group, do you have any goals? I mean, for me, I see this group already. I know you're kind of starting. You don't have like 1,000 people, but for me, this group is actually already a success for what you're doing. But do you have any goals other than have fun and play together and improve your skills?
I guess, I mean, our goal is to like, for everybody in our group is to like level up or like get better together, and help each other improve and grow our group even more, because we know there's more people out there. It's just they probably just don't know about us. So we just want to get as many people as we can into Smash while we're here. And I don't know, we just kind of want to widen people's frame of reference for Smash here in Japan. So I think one of the things, not necessarily having to do with our group, but having to do with like English-speaking communities in general, is I was talking with Watch. We were talking about how like not many people from the States really know who to contact or like where to look to find information about somewhere where they're going to visit to play Smash. So I was talking to him and I was saying, hey, maybe we should make a Facebook page just dedicated to Japanese Smash, list like different areas, different prefectures, and who you should contact about a Smash scene here. We've been talking about it for a while, and just haven't been able to really do it because I need his help to like get contacts for people to put up there. But that's definitely something I want to do before I leave. That way people can just, go on there to look, because a lot of people were asking me about like different scenes around Japan, like, oh, is there a scene here, and I'm like, I'm sure there is, but I personally don't know them all like off the top of my head. So I had to, like, for a couple of them, I'd have to do a lot of research to find. But
something I found interesting. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh yeah, it's quite all right.
Is that from what you say, is that you actually I like this because you actually wanted to last. You wanted to last for many time as it can, because you talk about earlier you were talking about when you come back to the States and stuff. And it's very important that when people start returning, there's new people joining the group, so it does not die. It's very important that it continues, so the community can expand and keep doing what you're already doing.
Yeah, that's something I was really scared about. Because my time here, like, to leave Japan is approaching. I leave in like late July, and I'm like, I don't want this scene to die. I want this scene to grow. But I don't want it, like, if I leave, I don't want this scene to like slowly get small again and just die out. Because I definitely want more people to come. I want more people to come and play.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, we need to get the information out there for people to see, which can be tough. So I just want.
You talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want the scene. I just want the scene to grow.
Yeah. I'm assuming that was all via internet, but how did you got in contact with other groups around Japan?
Oh yeah. Well, I got in contact with. I think one of the first Japanese groups I got in contact with was through AMSA, I think. I think I tweeted at him, and I was like, hey, I'm here, I'm looking for a local to play with, and I think he got me in contact with Watch, and Watch got me in contact the community, this little group, and going in, I was expecting these are just some players, but these were the top 20 players playing in a room. I was there playing against Shippu, Plata, Jin, and some other really good players.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is crazy. Shippu's I think it fluctuates where he's at. I think right now he's 4th, but being able to play against these people was crazy, because I was like, I'm literally sitting next to one of the top players in Japan and having the opportunity to play against them. So it was crazy. Getting involved with that whole group was absolutely amazing. And I'm still friends with Jin. That was his name. He's the host, so I'm still friends with him. We still talk every once in a while. But that's how I got in contact with a Japanese local. But getting in contact with the American locals was a little bit weirder. The whole chain of events was after a while I remember I went on Twitch at one point, and I just I guess I mentioned Japan at one point, and someone was like, hey, I live in Japan. What part? And I was like, oh, I live in Yokosuka. And I was like, me too. So we met up or whatever, and we hung out. And then we found another person.
That's actually a pretty cool story.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird how we got in contact with her. And after that, it just was okay, let's make some posts, trying to find more people, and then ended up all just connecting. So.
That's actually really nice, and it's pretty cool that you met top players there. Just asking. Sometimes people, I think, they're just too afraid to ask.
Yeah, definitely.
And sometimes you have nothing to lose. You should just ask if you need help, if you wanna get in contact with someone, or if you need any information, whatever. You should always ask.
Yes, that's so right. I think one of my favorite sayings is the answer's always no unless you ask. So
yeah.
What's the shame? What's the shame in asking? You might as well.
Yeah. So, getting back to the group, what I was asking you for the goals and stuff. Well, we already talked that you want this community to keep on, continue even when people flee back to their homes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want this community to be known for?
I guess just for being. That's a tough question. What do I want them to be known for? Just being open-minded, I guess. I don't really know. I just want it to be known to be an open group. Anyone's allowed to play. Anyone's invited. Just because you're super good or just because you're super bad, or quote unquote bad or new, I should say, you're still definitely invited. Because that's how it is now. Me and Zach, we're the top 2 people in our group, and everyone else is pretty new or getting back into Smash, or have some things they need to work out. It's we're never going to say no. We're never going to be no, you can't come play. You can't do this, because playing is playing and practice is practice. So, why refuse anybody? Anyone's allowed.
That's really nice. That's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was gonna ask you how supportive were your communities, but you already told me that people is really nice there. They help you with whatever you need. I see this group pretty much as a gate,
Mm-hmm.
like the big entrance for the people getting into the Japanese scene,
Absolutely.
and that's really nice. I saw. Well, I met you. Well, actually in Rixey stream,
Mm-hmm.
but most people got in contact with you because of this Reddit post. What was you expecting when you posted that? Because it has already over 3,000 upvotes.
Yeah.
So
That was crazy. I was not expecting that at all. I just thought some people would be like, "Oh, hey, I'm also here," But people went crazy over it. I was not expecting any of that to happen. Me and my friend just thought, we'll get some people to upvote it and say, "Hey, I live in this part of Japan," just find more people, But it blew up. That was not at all what I was expecting. It. I remember we were talking about it in like our group chat. And we were like, "What's going on? Like, what? Why is this happening? Like, it makes no sense." We were all just like, we were all just blown away.
no, but that's pretty cool. I think one of the things that helped you post to go to Sky is that many people is actually interested in going to Japan. Many people here love. We are all geeks. We love Japan.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, we love it, and we would like to go there. And seeing a friendly community there, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing because one of the first things related to what we were talking at the beginning is the language barrier.
Mm-hmm.
So people get scared sometimes, but that's pretty nice. What if someone wants to join me? What if someone's traveling to Japan right now and wants to play Smash and wants to join the scene? What can they do?
Yeah. There's some people that you can contact. Obviously, you can contact on Twitter. Twitter's the best. It also, actually, one thing, if you're going to Japan, get 2 apps: Twitter and Line. Line is the main messaging system that they use in Japan. It's free.
Yeah.
And then Twitter is just how Smash people talk. So if people you can contact is me at Sean Raj, SeanRojj, and I think another good person to contact is Watch on Twitter at Watch _ SSBM. So it's WATCH _ SSBM. Although he gets busy, so that. It might be a while before he replies, but make a post somewhere, make a post on Reddit, saying I'm going to Japan, what should I do? Or find an old thread, find my old thread to comment on it. I'll definitely reply, just anything.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Well, finishing here, I actually ran out of questions a while ago, but I'm here improvising.
Yeah.
What would you like to do in the future with the community? I mean, do you see maybe organizing tournaments? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. I would love to organize tournaments. And I was going to here in my building for a while. I have all the equipment. I have a capture card. I have the cords. I have the overlays and the everything worked out. It's just timing and people being busy just hasn't really been able to work out. But before I leave, I definitely want to talk with the people in my group and say hey, in order for us to move forward and grow, have more exposure, we should probably set up some kind of stream or something, or some kind of tournament that people can see to get a feel for how friendly things are here and whatnot. But we definitely have the capability. It's just getting finding the right people to do this even when I leave or whenever, anyone leaves, someone to pick up the reins.
Yeah, that's
So
very important.
I definitely want to, that's definitely something I want to do.
So, well, I think that's it for now. Thanks for giving me this interview.
Right.
Um,
Absolutely.
I hope you success more because you already succeed with this community. In my opinion,
Thank you.
you're getting more people joining you. You you could display your community in Reddit in an amazing way. I actually was surprised too when you were saying in Ragtime stream how many of votes you got, and you were like, but
Yeah.
it's really not that a big thing. When I checked, I was like, this is actually not a big thing. It's just a local community, but it's pretty
Yeah.
interesting. It's pretty nice because you did something that probably, well, many other people did, but you shared it and you let the world know, hey, we're here, we're in Japan, we we are part of this small community of people that is actually not Japanese,
Yeah.
and we're doing our things here, and we welcome you to join us. You're welcome to come here to play with us, to, well, be one of us. That's
Mhm.
it. That's how I see it. So I actually felt excited. I don't play competitive Smash. I'm pretty bad at it,
That's all right.
but it actually was really nice. I when I saw it, I told you, man, I actually want to interview you too.
Yeah. 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 It's still surprising, like, that all these things came out of it, but yeah, I'm glad people got in contact with me and, were asking questions, like, oh, where do I go for this and all that. So I'm glad to see that people liked it, you know.
Yeah. So I got one last question.
Sure.
It's maybe tough, maybe it's a hard question, maybe it's an easy one. I don't know. But what would you say to anyone that haven't played competitive Smash, that wants to join? How would you encourage them to enter, to play, to start playing, to get into Smash?
Yeah. I just, you know, find a local community. If you're talking about here in Japan, join us, come out and play. There's definitely people here that had never played before. We were teaching the game, we're all here for encouragement. I'm sure no matter what local scene you go to, if you express that to somebody like, hey, I've never really played competitively, but I'd like to learn, I'm sure there's people that would take you under their wing and be like, okay, here's what you need to do. Here's some things that you can learn. And it's just, it's a wonderful game. You should definitely pursue it further. If it's something that you enjoy, if it's just something you like watching, and give it a shot. No harm, no foul. If you end up,
Yeah.
if you're like, oh, I'm not really good at playing, but I'd rather just watch them. That's fine. But if you want to learn, by all means, find your local scene, join up, tell somebody, talk to people, make friends. I'm sure they'll help you.
That's very nice. So, thank you, Sean, for this not that short interview.
Yeah.
And, well, I don't know, keep playing, keep going on,
Yeah.
keep that community. And, I don't know, we wish you from here, right now I'm in Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
We have readers, Latin America,
Mm-hmm.
and some in Spain. We wish you the best of the lucks.
Thank you.
And, keep it on. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. I will.
That's all you need to do. Just keep it on, and well, everyone is welcome to join them. I'm gonna put his social media somewhere in the article.
Mm-hmm.
And well, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, if you need to, if you want to, you can put my Twitter up there, and just whatever you want to for people to get in contact with me. That's quite all right. You can go ahead and put
Sure.
my.
If you decide to open the Facebook page, let me know too,
Yeah,
so I can
absolutely.
put it.
Yeah, and if you have any more questions or if you think of something that you want to add, just contact me on Twitter, and I'll be sure to answer whatever questions you have.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, that's all for today or tonight. Well, here's tonight, there's today.
Yeah.
And, well, that's it. Till next time.
Till next time.
Thank you.
See you.